Very simple question. How do they get Flick's tongue off the metal flagpole? Watch this.
Wow, it's the cops!
We don't know. They don't show in the movie how they get the tongue off. However, when Flick enters the classroom, his tongue is bandaged up. The implication is his tongue was injured, or he was injured at his tongue, that maybe they ripped it off. Can you imagine that? In a cold upper Midwest winter, frigid, metal outside, and somebody gets their tongue stuck on it. And somebody says, well, the answer is to rip it off. Ooh, I can't imagine that. Imagine it. Everybody knows what that would be like. I mean, you just by biting our tongue once, you know how bad that is. Ooh, I was on a medication one time. I can't even remember what the medication was for, but the medication made me occasionally bite my tongue. No kidding. So I called the doctor's office and I said, take me off that medication, something else. I can't stand it to have a tongue that hurts. So what is going on here? Well, I have friends who are in the business of getting tongues off. You know, they're paramedics. I have friends that were in the fire departments and so on. And I've asked some of these folks, hey, what do you do when you run across a kid, probably not an adult, who has put their tongue on some kind of metal outdoors? What do you do? And they all said the same thing. Are you kidding? You don't know? I said, no. What do you do? They said, well, you get some warm water and you pour it on the tongue. That's it. It warms up the metal, warms up the tongue, and the tongue comes right off. And I said, oh, man, why didn't they show that in the movie? Well, they want this great scene of Flick, of course, coming into the classroom with his tongue bandaged up, and then walking home later with his buddies and talking about, oh, it wasn't bad, and he didn't cry, and so on. You know, there's drama here, and you have to have some dramatic effect. So there's a simple way to take it off. So how did they get it off in the movie? Well, his tongue was not really stuck to metal in the movie. The way they did that, if you don't know, is they had plastic tubing, and then they had a hole in it, and they had a tube with suction, so that when he put his tongue up there, it stuck where that hole was. And then they shot it from an angle where it looked like it was his tongue really stuck to the pole. And apparently when they made the movie, there were other people in the crew and the cast and other kids that wanted to try it out and put their tongue up there and get a photo maybe of as if their tongue was stuck to the metal. Now, I have talked to people who claim, just like, what is it, Schwartz's old man claimed, that they know people who have put their tongues on metal in the winter and it is stuck. How much of this is urban legend, how much of it is true, I do not know. I love Shepard's take as a screenwriter on this with somebody putting their tongue on the railroad track. Where I grew up, there was a railroad track nearby that would bring coal into the greenhouses and other places, and we would hang out by the railroad track and put pennies on there and see them get squished and all that stuff. Of course, we believed, as part of the urban legend, that if the police saw us put a penny down there and it was crushed, we could end up in jail for 30 days, right, because of that. So even if we did that and had run over one of our pennies, we looked at the penny and all, but then we threw the penny away. We didn't keep and bring it home because you never know who's going to snitch on you and you could end up in jail. It's difficult stuff, all these urban legends about things that we have to live with in life. How do they get tongues off of metal? Warm water. So if you get into that situation with your kids or grandkids or whatever, think that. I gave you some advice that I got from, which I assume is true, from firefighters and the like. And what a great scene, though. What a great scene. In another video, I talk about the daring part and how the daring works and how, for Gene Shepard, the screenwriter, he always wanted everyday rituals in life in his stories. And so that daring on up the double dog, up the triple dog there is part of the ritualistic aspect of life that he wanted to develop. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like a copy of my book, I'll put a link down below. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel there too. And please, if you'd like a personal copy while I still have them, if there's a link down below, you can order a copy and I will sign it. Your friends and family will open the book and see it signed just for them. In fact, tell me how to sign it. Thanks so much.